Good morning, everyone. In this video, we are going to understand where we use was and where we use were in given sentences. Actually, was were are the past tense form of a verb. We always use was were for past time and we always use is am are for present time. Before going forward, let's recall is am are. Where we use is am are? Yes, we use am with I and we use is with he, she, it. Whenever you will have he, she, it as a subject and singular subject, that time you will use is. And whenever you will have you, they, we or plural subject, that time you will be use are. Okay? Now come to the was were. Where we use was were? Yes, as I've told you, we use was were in past time. So here, was were is the past form of is am are. Means we use is am are to show present time and we use was were to show past time. Like here, I was a student 10 years ago. So I was a student the 10 years ago. The years has gone. The time has passed. So I'm telling you I was student in that time. Here I am a student now. Right now for present time I will use am. And I was a student 10 years ago. And for the past time I have to use was. Always remember, we use was were for the last time, last holiday. When born means when someone asks to you, where was you born? That you always used to say that I was born in that time. Okay? So case like the is am are, we always use was were with particular subject. Means whenever you will have I, he, she, it or singular subject, that time you will use was. And whenever you will have plural subject, you, we, they, that time you will use were. Okay, we can understand was were through these examples. First of all, here I have a was. I was excited. So here I is a singular. I stands for singular. So we will use was. I was excited. And in negative sentences we can use I wasn't excited. Next, he. He was at school. He stands for singular, only one person. So we will use was. And she wasn't at school. In the same manner, again we will use was. She stands for singular. It. It was a beautiful night. So again, it stands for singular. Only one thing. Only one animal, one bird. So we will use was. Now come to the verb. You. You stands for plural. We were brilliant. So here you stands for plural. So we will use were. And we were late. Again we stands for plural. So we will use were. And they were buying shoes. They stands for plural. So we will use were. Let's have more examples here. He was tired and we were too late. So in the first sentence I use was because we have a he as a subject. And in second sentence we will use were because we have a we as a subject and we stands for plural. Next, they were late and it was our car. Okay? Look at these examples to know better. Here I have some sentences. I was in class UKG last year. So here I stands for singular. That's why I use here was. But the word mentioned is here last year. The year has gone. This year has passed away. So here we will use was. Next, he was late for school. He stands for singular. So we will use was. And she was hungry last night. Again, if you will observe here, we have mentioned the words last night. The night has gone. So it means it's a past time. Okay, so we will use was. Next, it was hot in the afternoon. It stands for again singular. And the last singular noun. Mita was not at the home. Mita is a singular here, only one person. That's why we will use here was and were. Here we were in kindergarten last year. So again we stands for plural. So we have to use here were. And why we will use here were? We can use here are because we have here last year. The year has gone. Okay, it's a past time. This time has passed. So that's why we can use here were. Next, you were class monitor last month. Again, the words given us last month. The month has gone. It's a past time. That's why we will use here were. And they were in Kolkata yesterday. Yesterday, the previous day. Okay, this day has gone. It's a past time. That's why we have to use here were. And the last is here plural noun. Whenever you will have a plural noun, that time we will use here were. The fruits were in the bowl. So here fruits, we have given fruits. Fruits stands for plural. That's why we have to use here were. So kids, let's differentiate between is, am, are and was, were. So here we have given a today and yesterday here. We have given some sentences based on today, based on present time. Like I dash at home. For today, it's a present time. So what we will use with I? Yes, am. I am at home. And for yesterday, for the past time, for the previous day, yes, I was at school. I stands for singular. So we have to use here was. Okay, next. Kathy that thirsty. So here we are talking about today in present time. Kathy is singular. So what we will use? Yes, we will use is. Kathy is thirsty. And for the second, for yesterday, for previous day, Kathy was hungry. Kathy is a singular here. So we will use was. And we dash bored. For today, for present time, we stands for plural. And for present time, we will use here are. We are bored. And for the past time, we were. We were excited. And the last example, my friends dash tired. Friends, we are talking about more than one person. So what we will use for present time? Yes, my friends are tired. And for the past time, my friends dash relaxed. Yes, friends. Friends stands for plural. So we will use were. Okay, got that? Yes, now I have a written work for you which you have to write down in your notebooks. So first of all, where we use was with I, he, she, it and singular noun or subject. And where we use were with we, they, you or plural subject or noun. And here some sentences I have which you have to write down in your notebooks. Like I was reading, she was sleeping, the bird was flying. We are talking about bird. The bird was flying, and same in the next sentence, the birds. The birds were flying. In the first sentence, bird. Bird stands for singular, one bird only. So we will use was. And in the next sentence, we have given birds. So it stands for plural. We have to use here were. Next, Parul was dancing yesterday. First of all, we have given the word yesterday, means the previous day. And Parul is a singular here, so we have to use was. Next, Raman was eating food. So again, Raman is singular here, only one person. So we will use was. The last sentence, Raman and Aman were eating food. So we are talking about more than one person, plural, Raman and Aman. So we have to use here were. Okay, students, it's enough for today. Keep practicing.